Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, worrying? What if I can't take care of myself someday? What if my family has to drop everything to help me? If that thought keeps you up, you're not alone. Most of us over 70 share that fear. But here's the good news. Aging doesn't have to mean losing your independence. In fact, there are simple, practical steps you can take right now to stay self-reliant, keep your dignity intact, and give your family the peace of mind they deserve. Today, we're diving into the first 2 steps that can help you stay in control of your life. And trust me, they're easier than you might think. Let's start with something we all know but often overlook: staying physically active. Now, I'm not talking about training for a marathon or lifting heavy weights. This isn't about becoming a gym rat. It's about finding small, sustainable ways to keep your body strong and mobile. Think about it. When your legs feel steady and your arms can carry a grocery bag without strain, you're less likely to need help with everyday tasks. Take my friend Margaret, for example. After her 75th birthday, she noticed her balance wasn't what it used to be. Instead of resigning herself to a walker, she started with just 10 minutes of walking after breakfast every morning. Fast forward 6 months, and she's up to 30 minutes a day, joined a local walking group, and even takes her grandkids on nature hikes. She told me, "It's not just my legs that feel stronger, it's my confidence." But let's get real. What if walking isn't your thing? Maybe your knees ache or the weather's too harsh. That's where creativity comes in. Harold, a 78-year-old retired teacher, swore he'd never set foot in a gym. Instead, he tried Tai Chi at his community center. Now he calls it his weekly meditation in motion. The slow, deliberate movements not only improved his balance but also helped him reconnect with neighbors in his class. Then there's gardening. Yes, gardening. Kneeling to plant flowers, bending to pull weeds, and carrying a watering can might sound simple, but it's a full body workout disguised as a hobby. Plus, you get fresh herbs or a burst of color for your windowsill. The key here isn't intensity, it's consistency. Start with 5 minutes a day. Celebrate the small wins, like standing up from your chair without pushing off the armrests or carrying a laundry basket upstairs. Now, let's talk about something equally important but far less glamorous: staying on top of your health before problems arise. I know. Nobody likes doctor's appointments or pill organizers. But here's the truth. Avoiding the clinic won't make health issues disappear. Think of your body like a car. You wouldn't skip oil changes and then act surprised when the engine seizes, right? My cousin learned this the hard way. He ignored his annual checkups for years, insisting he felt fine. Then, out of nowhere, a minor fall led to a fractured wrist. Turns out, he'd developed osteoporosis without even realizing it. A simple bone density test years earlier could have caught it, and a calcium supplement might have prevented the break altogether. So, what does staying on top of your health really look like? First, preventive screenings. Mammograms, colonoscopies, blood work. These aren't just items on a checklist. They're your early warning system. Second, medication management. If you're taking multiple prescriptions, a pill organizer isn't just helpful, it's a lifeline. My neighbor Linda uses a rainbow-colored one her granddaughter bought her, and she jokes it's her daily art project. And don't forget to ask your pharmacist about interactions. Last year, I started a new vitamin D supplement and didn't realize it could clash with my blood pressure medication. One quick phone call saved me from a dizzy spell. But here's the golden nugget most people miss. Keep a health journal. It doesn't need to be fancy. A $2 notebook works. Jot down things like, felt lightheaded after breakfast, or new ache in left hip. When I started doing this, My doctor spotted a vitamin B12 deficiency I'd written off as just getting older. A simple dietary tweak, and my energy bounced back. The goal isn't to obsess over every twinge. It's to spot patterns before they snowball. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds like a lot to manage. And you're right. It can feel overwhelming at first. But here's the secret. Independence isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about building habits that add up over time. Start with one 10-minute walk this week. Schedule that checkup you've been putting off. These aren't just tasks. They're declarations that you're worth the effort. And remember, this is just the beginning. We've only scratched the surface of what's possible. But for now, let's focus on what you can do today. Grab that notebook, lace up your shoes, and take that first step. Literally. Your future self will thank you. Of course, staying active and healthy is just part of the puzzle. What comes next might surprise you. It's not about your body at all, but about something far more powerful. You know, there's a saying I heard once. The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. And that's exactly how I want you to think about this next step. Because while we've talked about caring for your body and health, there's something else that's just as critical to your independence, even if it doesn't get the same attention. Let me tell you about my neighbor, Jack. Jack was always the kind of guy who'd say, "I'll deal with it later." Later never came. When he had a stroke last year, his kids were left scrambling, searching for his will, guessing his medical wishes, even arguing over who should handle his bills. It broke my heart to watch, because here's the truth. Organizing your legal and financial affairs isn't about preparing for the worst. It's about protecting the people you love. Now I know paperwork is about as exciting as watching paint dry, but stick with me. This isn't about doom and gloom. It's about peace of mind. Start with the basics. Gather your will, insurance policies, and bank information. Store them somewhere safe but accessible, like a fireproof lockbox. Tell one trusted person, a child, a niece, a close friend, where to find them. My friend Ethel keeps hers in a bright red folder labeled "Do Not Panic," so her daughter can spot it in a hurry. And if you haven't done this yet, consider sitting down with a financial advisor, not to grow your wealth, but to simplify it. Consolidate old accounts, automate bill payments, and make sure your beneficiaries are up to date. Life changes, divorces, new grandchildren, that vacation home you sold, and outdated paperwork can turn into a nightmare for your family. But here's where most people stop short. A will is just the beginning. Have you thought about a power of attorney? A living will? These aren't just legal terms. They're your voice, preserved on paper, in case you can't speak for yourself. My cousin Rita refused to talk about this stuff for years, calling it morbid. Then her husband had a heart attack, and suddenly, she was making life or death decisions in a hospital hallway, completely unprepared. Don't wait for a crisis. Have the conversation. Sit your family down and say, "I want to make sure we're all on the same page." It's uncomfortable, I know, but imagine the relief your kids will feel, knowing they're honoring your wishes, not guessing them. Now, let's shift gears to something a little brighter, but no less important. Tell me, when was the last time you felt truly connected? Not just chatting with a cashier or waving to a neighbor, but deeply, meaningfully engaged with others? Here's the thing nobody tells you. Loneliness is a silent thief. It doesn't just make you sad. It weakens your immune system, clouds your thinking, and yes, can even make you rely on others sooner than you'd like. But here's the good news. Building a strong social network isn't about having hundreds of friends. It's about having a few good ones who've got your back. Take Clara, for example. After her husband passed, she spent months isolated in her apartment, watching TV reruns. Then, on a whim, She invited 3 women from her church over for cards. That weekly game turned into something bigger. They became each other's emergency contacts, dog sitters, and even travel buddies. Last summer, they rented an RV and drove to the Grand Canyon. At 82, Clara says it best. "I'm not just filling my days anymore. I'm filling my life." And don't underestimate the power of purpose. Harold, the Tai Chi guy I had mentioned earlier, he started teaching woodworking to teenagers at the community center. At first, he grumbled about kids these days, but now he jokes he's training his replacements. Those teens, they call him Pops and text him photos of their projects. Harold's not just passing on skills, he's building a legacy, and that sense of purpose keeps him sharp, motivated, and far from anyone's burden list. Of course, connection doesn't have to mean big gestures. It could be as simple as video calling your grandkids every Sunday or joining a book club at the library. My sister-in-law Ruth learned Zoom during the pandemic just to watch her granddaughter's piano recitals. Now, she attends family birthdays, graduations, even her great-grandson's first steps, all from her living room. She told me, "I'm not missing a thing, and nobody has to chauffeur me around." But here's the real kicker. Staying socially engaged isn't just good for your mood. It's a workout for your brain. Every conversation, every laugh, every debate over a crossword puzzle clue fires up your neurons like a lightning storm. And a sharp mind is your best defense against needing help with decisions down the road. So, call that old friend you've been meaning to reconnect with. Sign up for that watercolor class. Volunteer at the food pantry. You're not just filling time, you're building a safety net of relationships that'll carry you through life's twists and turns. And remember, this isn't about doing it all at once. Pick one thing. Invite a neighbor over for coffee. Download Zoom and let your grandkids teach you how to use it. Write a letter to a faraway friend. Small steps, big rewards. Because at the end of the day, independence isn't just about what you can do for yourself. It's about knowing you've got a tribe around you, ready to cheer you on, without ever making you feel like a chore. Of course, even with the best plans and the strongest friendships, life has a way of throwing curveballs. But what if I told you the final piece of the puzzle isn't about avoiding those surprises? It's about being ready to dance in the rain. Life has a funny way of surprising us, doesn't it? One minute you're enjoying a quiet afternoon, and the next? Well, let's just say even the best laid plans can use a little backup. But here's the beautiful part. With the right tools and mindset, you don't just survive those surprises, you thrive through them. Let's talk about the final pieces of the puzzle. Imagine this. It's 2 a.m. and you're shuffling to the bathroom half asleep. Suddenly, your foot catches on the edge of a rug and bam, you're on the floor. That's exactly what happened to my Aunt Martha. She'd always brushed off suggestions to age-proof her home, insisting she didn't want her house to look like a hospital. But after that fall, she sat down with an occupational therapist and made small tweaks that changed everything. Non-slip floors, a raised toilet seat, motion sensor nightlights. Nothing drastic, just practical. Now at 84, she brags, "My house isn't old lady-ish, it's smart lady-ish." Creating a safe home isn't about giving up your style. It's about claiming your freedom. Start with a quick walkthrough. Are there loose rugs? Toss them or tape them down. Dim hallways? A $10 plug-in nightlight can be a game changer. In the kitchen, swap heavy cast iron pans for lightweight alternatives. Your wrists will thank you. And in the bathroom, a shower chair isn't a surrender. It's a ticket to singing off-key in the shower safely. Even tech can help. Frank, a buddy of mine, installed a smart lock so his daughter could check on his door remotely. "She feels better knowing I'm secure," he says, "and I feel better knowing she's not hovering." But safety is only half the battle. Let's talk about planning ahead for life's little and big curveballs. My cousin Joanne lives alone in Chicago, and instead of waiting for a crisis, she joined a village, a network of seniors, who pool resources for everything from grocery runs to home repairs. Last winter, when her furnace quit, she didn't panic. One call to her village, and a vetted handyman was there by noon. "It's like having a team of grandkids on speed dial," she laughs. Start by researching what's available in your community. Meal delivery services like Meals on Wheels aren't just for emergencies. They're for days when you're just tired. Transportation programs can get you to doctor's appointments without relying on family. And if you're hesitant to ask for help, reframe it. Hiring a part-time aide for light cleaning isn't dependence. It's delegation. You're the CEO of your life, after all. Now, here's the secret sauce: cultivating resilience. Life will change. Your eyesight might dim, driving might feel nerve-wracking, but your ability to adapt, that's your superpower. Take my friend Louise. When her vision started fading, she swapped her paperback novels for audiobooks and learned voice-to-text to keep texting her grandkids. "I miss turning pages," she admits, "but I love that I'm still in the loop." And when driving became too stressful, she practiced using rideshare apps with her grandson. "Turns out, I'm a pro at rating drivers," she jokes. The bottom line? Independence isn't about doing everything alone. It's about knowing how to get help when you need it. And that starts with a conversation. Sit down with your family and say, "Here's what I want." My neighbor Louise did just that. She told her kids, "I don't want you to be my caregivers. I want you to be my kids." Now they check in weekly, but they respect her systems. No guilt, no fuss, just love. So, let's tie this all together. We've talked about moving your body, staying ahead of health hiccups, organizing your paperwork, nurturing your tribe, making your home a sanctuary, and building a safety net for tomorrow. But here's the truth. You don't need to tackle all 6 steps today. Start with 1. Replace a rug with a non-slip mat. Book that eye exam. Text a friend you've been missing. Every small choice is a brick in the foundation of your independence. And remember, aging isn't a problem to solve. It's a journey to navigate, and you've already got the tools. So tell me, what's your first step going to be? Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your plans. If this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more tips on living boldly, no matter your age. Here's to thriving on your own terms, because the best chapters of your story are still being written. Until next time, keep shining.